Okay, we go back. Okay, this is Elevate Your Lifestyle Challenge. Challenge day 3. Or is this the 4th day? We did key, and we did the feminine, and now we're doing the masculine. It's the 3rd one. Thank you. And here is the Zoom meeting. There we go. Boom. Go live. It is on. All right. And I'm just feeling so confident with Mercury retrograde. I'm just going to tuck right in. Hey, everybody. It's Crystalline here. And I am doing the Elevate Your Lifestyle Challenge. And I've got my notes here. And I'm closing down all these extra apps that I have open because this is ridiculous to have all this stuff open when you're trying to live stream. Do not close down Zoom because that's where you're live streaming from. Don't close that one. How is everybody? How are you? I'm really excited because this has been a really fun event for me. I'm talking about all the stuff I love. Talking about the divine feminine, talking about being a life coach, talking about all sorts of things. So we are going to continue with this elevating your lifestyle business, okay? And I guess what I should start off by doing is saying, hi, I'm Crystalline, and I am a spiritual life coach. I live in Paris, France, and I love the fact that I created an online coaching business that lets me live anywhere in the world. And literally, I've lived in a lot of places. I've coached from Bali, India, Cambodia, France, Italy, Croatia, Spain, okay? The girl gets around, all right? And that I was able to create that for myself or create this for myself is a real blessing. And, ignore, okay. And I am really excited to be talking to you about this because I want to give you an opportunity to elevate your lifestyle in 2022 by, I want to challenge you to pursue your desire to become a spiritual life coach and a healer. I know that you have a calling to be of service, and I know that it's important that you honor your spirit. I also know that it's really important that you feel like you're able to be of service in the name of spirit so that you can use your intuition and help other people heal themselves, transform themselves, create a better life for themselves. And, you know, you've gone through things yourself and you know what it's like to be in pain. And I am a big believer in receiving help. You know, having a great therapist is really good, but therapy is a lot different than coaching. And I'm not going to go into the differences here. I will talk about that in another video, I promise, because therapists are really, really great, but coaches are really, really different. So whatever your kind of help, whether you get it from coaching, counseling, if you get it from your priest, if you get it from your girlfriends, your boyfriend, I don't care. The fact that you get help is important for your mental health, for your emotional wellness. It's really important. And for me as a spiritual life coach, it's extremely rewarding to be able to talk very intimately about things that are like I never thought I'd be talking to people about the things that I'm talking to them about. And one of my dear friends is joining me here. Hey, Nicole. I know you're muted, good, and you got your video off, very good, no problem. If you have any questions along the way, please just type them into the chat box. I'm gonna just open that up here and I'm just gonna say, type your questions and comments here. I hope you're doing well, darling. I'm so happy that you are, I don't see you, but I see you, right? And Nicole is just one of these wonderful beings, and she makes me really happy to do my work. Like that you came on right now, Nicole, is just really perfect. Okay. So yeah, this is good work. Okay. I get to talk intimately with people about things that are important to them, and I get to become their allies. And it's easy to become an ally with people who can relate to you. And one of the things about being a spiritual life coach is that it really is about the divine feminine, about your feeling nature. It's about your ability, your empathy. It's about your ability to understand people, your ability to feel people, your ability to relate to people. If you can't relate to people, then you probably shouldn't be a life coach, okay? Especially not a spiritual life coach, because this is a really relating process that we are in. And yeah. So today, look, I'm gonna get back into it. I'm excited and I'm determined to move through the information. So we're talking about elevating your lifestyle. This is a 10-day challenge. It's been going on for days now. It ends on Saturday. Today, I am going to challenge you to, I'm gonna talk to you about your divine masculine self. Okay, so yesterday I talked about the divine feminine self. Today I'm going to talk about the divine masculine self, and I'm going to talk about the power of yes and what that basically means. Okay, so but before we do that, I want to make sure that I talk to you about what I mean by elevating your lifestyle. So like I said, I'm a life coach. I work for myself. I have an incredible amount of freedom. And it's the freedom to choose where I work, when I work, how I work, what I do, who I see, and it's awesome. Making the choice to do this for myself elevated my lifestyle. Yes, I am also financially free because I get to choose how I get paid. I set up my payment structure. That's a dialogue between spirit and myself first. And then it's a dialogue between myself and the marketplace, right? So the fact that I have freedom to choose how I set up my pricing is also really powerful, right? So I get to work in an environment that, that feels great for me. I'm broadcasting to you from my bedroom. And this is my safe place. This is where all my creativity happens, and it suits me. You can broadcast from your outdoor terrace with, you know, the mountains in the background, or wherever it suits you. You can sit in an office and broadcast, whatever suits you. The wonderful thing is that this kind of work is an extension of you into form. So it can be whatever you want it to be, okay? Also, I have to say that I love the nature of this work. Now, I tend to be a person who really focuses on the shadow because I don't like a false sense of happiness. I want my people to feel supported with their darker emotions, their denser emotions like sadness and grief. So for me, it's really important that I know how to work with those kinds of denser energies so that when I'm done with my clients, so for example, if I'm dealing with a client who has just lost two loved ones within a 3-month period, okay, that's a devastating transition for her, that I am able to take care of myself when I am finished with that session. So I need to make sure that I can still live my life and be whole and full and available for myself as well as for my other clients after I've done my work. And learning how to do that is a part of becoming a life coach, right? You don't just throw yourself in and not know how to take care of yourself. I wouldn't recommend that you do that, of course. But the fact is, you get to choose what kind of work it is that you're going to be doing. And for me, the work that I love to do is working with the shadow, transforming that, and then taking that newly formed awareness, that new awakening, that new joy, that new energy, and channeling it towards something that is exciting in the three-dimensional world. Okay, so I'm happy to talk to you about my own business and what I'm working on. But I'll do that again at another time so I can make sure I get through my presentation for today and I can let you all get back to whatever it is you're going to be doing, okay? But the point that I want to make is that 2022 is a great time to elevate your lifestyle. And it's funny because right before this call, I was speaking with one of my students, and I haven't seen her since before the holiday season. And one of the first things she said to me was, Crystal Lynn, 2021 kicked my booty. And I thought, yep, it kicked a lot of our booties. And 2022 is the opportunity for us to take the lessons that we learned from those booty kickings and to actually turn those into something really positive, which is where I got the idea for doing this challenge, to encourage you to pursue your desire to become a spiritual life coach and to take it very seriously. Because there are, as I described earlier, there are tremendous benefits that go along with living your life this way, choosing this as a vocation and as your career, okay? Now, in the previous sessions, we talked about elevating your lifestyle, and I mentioned that in the first 2 sessions, we actually talked about that key negative emotion. And I want you to reflect back to that key negative emotion. So the key negative emotion is an emotion that you feel on a regular basis. It's your kind of go-to negative emotion that fires off when you're subconsciously afraid or you're triggered in some way. And I told you all that mine was disappointment. And I described how I had developed a relationship with disappointment. And then I started taking on disappointment almost as a type of my persona, where I was kind of like, let's just be honest, I was disappointed. I was disappointed all the time. And I'm laughing because I'm so far from that now. And when I look back, I was just like this woman who was walking around expecting disappointment all the time. And I was getting it. I was getting it because I was totally like just showing up as that woman, right? Okay, thank you so much for that. Thank you very much for sharing. Nicole says hers was judgment. Go figure. Yeah, I totally get it, man. We sit back and that fires off with us. So look, that key negative emotion is going to hold you down. You cannot elevate. You cannot rise out of your current circumstances when you've got a negative emotion that's going to keep firing off Every time you try to do something new, it's going to fire off and judge you, or it's going to fire off and you're going to experience disappointment. With it, that key negative emotion blocks you from actually having a clean palette, so that you can have a new experience. So, for example, if someone comes to you and you're triggered by them, you see their face, you're going to be automatically triggered by that key negative emotion, as opposed to being open and receptive and in your heart space, without the judgment, without the disappointment there. And you receive this kind of this person with new eyes. Okay, that is what we want. That is who your higher self is, and that is what we want. And if you want to elevate your lifestyle, you must be willing to embrace life with a non-judgmental, disappointed, non-key negative emotion response to it. And you have to manage that. Okay. So this first step is really important because your emotions determine your vibration. And the life that you are manifesting right now is an outpicturing of your vibration. So don't treat that first step lightly. Don't try to move forward on your journey without getting a hold of your key negative emotion. Okay. Now, the second step in elevating your lifestyle is to activate the divine feminine within yourself. And I guarantee you, if you're watching this, the divine feminine is already activated within you. Okay. But what I want you to do is to make sure that you are formally embracing your relationship with the unseen world of spirit and energy and emotions and feelings. Okay. I want you to be actively letting your intuition work powerfully in your life. I want you to be using your intuition to make decisions along with other things that we're going to be talking about today. Okay, the divine masculine. So the divine feminine is your intuition. The divine masculine is all this other stuff we're going to talk about in a few minutes. Okay. So making the choice to elevate your lifestyle and become a spiritual life coach is a really important step in claiming the life that you want to live. And most people would take a material approach to attaining the things that they want to create. But badass butterfly spiritual life coaches approach our lives from the inside out. So we use the divine feminine to work with the subtle energy, the feelings and the emotions. And again, that divine feminine is about your connection to nature, your connection to other people, your empathy, your ability to feel other people. And in order for us to help other people heal and transform, we have to have a very strong relationship with the divine feminine and our receptivity. And that's what we talked about in the last session. We did some exercises to help you open up your receptivity. And then we talked about your willingness to learn new things. And for me, this is really important because most people who go into spiritual life coaching have never owned their own business and they've never coached before. But Spirit is calling them to become spiritual life coaches. And I take Spirit very seriously. When Spirit tells me to go someplace, I go. When it tells me to do something, I do it. And I might have to ease myself into it. Okay, look, I'm not crazy, but I take Spirit's promptings very seriously, and I think you should too. So if you feel like you're being called to be a life coach, you need to take it very seriously. And the thing is, coaching is really a very intuitive process. And so even though you've never coached before, it's something that you can very easily learn, especially if you have a very methodical approach to learning yourself and for helping yourself heal and transform your own processes. Okay, so that's easy to learn. The business part of being a life coach is a little more challenging, but it's actually easy to learn. It's just more challenging to do because there are a lot of steps to building a business. And the wonderful thing is that those steps are all measurable. Like you can know every single step, and all you have to do is literally just go down and check it off the list. Did I do this? Did I do that? Did I do this? And that is really helpful. You just have to have the discipline and the focus and the resilience and the grit and the tenacity to follow through with all the steps. Then you can set up your business. So you don't need to have like an MBA in business in order to have a really successful, thriving coaching business. I mean, and honestly, I'm proof of that because when I was doing just spiritual life coaching, my client base, like right now, my client base is in the thousands. Okay. And when I was actively doing just spiritual coaching, I was literally seeing 25 clients a week, right? That's a lot of coaching sessions for one person to be sitting in front of Zoom, okay, in Bali, in Cambodia. Like I'm just sitting there session after session after session after session. And it was great that my calendar was so full. I loved that. That's what I wanted for myself. That's what I created for myself. And I'm proud that I did that for myself. And I'm happy to teach you to do that. Although I would probably make some different recommendations. Okay, I was still learning how to build a coaching business, and 25 sessions a week is quite a few sessions. And like I said, if you want to build your session that way, if you want to build your practice that way, I'm more than happy to help you do that. But there are some ways that are more efficient and effective than that, because keeping in mind, just for every coaching session you do, you also have to prepare, you have to transition. So 25 coaching sessions can actually turn out to be like 50 hours a week of work. And that's just doing sessions and kind of preparing and in between. That doesn't leave you time to write your blog, to work on your website, to manage your Facebook groups and all, and even to take care of yourself. So I don't recommend you do that. But anyway, we can talk about that stuff more later, okay? So we want to make sure that you are definitely using your divine feminine intuition to help you. It's going to help you learn how to build your business, okay? It's going to help you learn how to build your business. Now, it's going to also help you, it's going to guide you to resources that will help you, guiding you to the right web designer, guiding you to the right teacher, the right coaching program. Your intuition can help lead you to all those things. And you're going to need to learn how to combine that, though, with the divine masculine, because the divine masculine is what you're going to need to actually do those things. Like, I like the book example, because I've heard so many people say, I'm going to write a book someday. I have the divine feminine channeled the book to me. I know what book I want to write. And I'm like, okay, now let's see you write it. Okay. Because getting the inspiration to write the book is divine feminine. Writing the book is divine masculine, okay? So you need to have access to both the divine feminine and the divine masculine. And that's going to take me into today's topic, which is about using the divine masculine to help you create systems and to help you do things in the material world, take consistent actions so that you can actually build your business and have success. So what do you need to be a badass butterfly spiritual life coach? What do you need to have in place to start your business and maintain it for the long haul? So keeping in mind, your business is not something you do today, then it's gone tomorrow. We don't want that. We want your business to be enduring. We want it to be long. We want it to be here for decades or centuries, if that's what you want, okay? You can do that. So I want to just start off by talking to you about what I call 3 energetic stages of your business. Are you okay back there, boo-boo? I like it when dogs smile when they scratch, like their lips draw up, and so they're kind of like it feels so good. Does it feel good, boo-boo? He's got a big old smile on his face. My silly dog. Oh my God. Okay. He thinks the 3 energetic stages of business are funny. I don't think they're funny. I think they're businessy. So the first energetic stage of business is your foundation, okay? And by that, I mean, this is like your basic startup and maintenance for the first 2 years of your business, okay? So this is the stage where you are really in learning mode, but you want to be learning smartly. You don't want to just be learning and making mistake after mistake after mistake. You need to, and making mistakes that are not going to serve you in your future. Okay. When you make mistakes in this stage of your business, you want to make mistakes that make you fall up. Okay. We want to make you fall forward, not make you fall down a cliff. Like, and like, for example, sometimes people like focus on one thing, they go in and they, like they're going to invest. They've got, a $15,000 budget and they're going to go in and invest in an Apple computer, like the whole big Apple thing. And it's going to eat up, half of their investment. That's a mistake that's going to set you back a little bit. You're not going to be really happy with that mistake. Okay. But you are going to make a lot of mistakes in the beginning, but you want those to be those mistakes that you learn from. Like, anyway. So what I mean is, during this period, you're going to be doing a lot of learning, okay? So you're launching your business, you're learning about your business, you're working out the foundational product offerings. So like, what products am I going to offer? You have a lot of great ideas, okay? Some of your ideas are going to be really, really fantastic and they're going to hit well in the market. Some of them are going to be kind of like, not so good, okay? And that's what I mean when I say kind of falling forward, like, it's like, yeah, that was a fail, but that was a good fail. I learned from that. I, got some good content out of it. Maybe I didn't sign up 10 people, but maybe I signed up 2, or I connected with 2 people that I'm really, jiving with. That feels really good, okay? That's a good mistake or whatever, okay? You also want to make sure that you are learning about your services, right? So very often we have this kind of broad idea of the services that we want to offer. And sometimes people, they sound so good to us. They feel so good to us, like the big, 10-hour Reiki session that's combined with massage and drumming and blah, blah, blah. And it sounds really good on the surface. And then by the time you're kind of like halfway through, you're exhausted and your client is saying, how much longer do we have for this? That was really good up until the 2nd hour, So anyway, it's a good opportunity for you to learn about yourself, to learn about your services. You can learn also about your market. You're going to be learning about the tools that you want to use. And most importantly, you're going to learn about yourself as a business owner. You're going to be learning about where your weak points are and where your strengths are, okay? And during that time, you want to make sure that you have a really good, solid business. You want to make sure that all the foundations are in place. You want to make sure your social media is in place, your website, your blog. You want your spiritual philosophy being put out there. But I'm going to go into that in detail in just a little bit. Let me tell you about the second energetic stage. That second energetic stage is what I call expansion. So this happens around 2 to 4 years. Okay, you've been in business now, you're entering your second year, and during this time, you really do know what your business is about, and you're starting to get a little bit of a swagger. You're starting to notice patterns in your wins, right? So you have a bunch of wins that you're making, and you're noticing that you've got your following that's developing, and you've worked out like a lot of the kinks, like most of the kinks from your products and your services are have been worked out, and they are being you're ready to start finalizing them and setting them up for some kind of an automation so that you can start doing less work and you can have maybe some strong passive income, right? So you know what your brand is, and maybe you're starting to actually create an image for your brand. And you're emphasizing your brand identity. You're doing things to move yourself out of the employee stage. So you're offering fewer services yourself, and maybe you actually have some people who are doing things for you. You're hiring your team. You have at least a virtual assistant, maybe you have two, but maybe you also have another practitioner who's working with you, or maybe someone who's helping you with sales. You're starting to bring all that in, okay? So you're starting to realize that as you're no longer the provider, you're now maybe the CEO, and you're moving into that business ownership, okay? And you also are realizing that your business is not just about what products and services you offer, but how you're offering them. So it's now really about getting clear about and maybe expanding and developing your organizational, the organization of your business, how you structure your business, and how you use your resources, both your business's resources and your personal resources of time, focus, and energy, okay? And then the last phase of this business thing that I'm calling the energetic phase is where you're moving into a state of mastery. Now, this can come anywhere from around 3 to 5 years, but this is where your business is no longer your job. You've stepped out of your business as a provider of services, and you're stepping into your business as the CEO full-time, okay? You are now maybe doing videos, but you're probably holding space for a team. Okay, you have a solid lineup of products and services. There's a branding for them, and it's very clear. Your team of people, they've got their protocols, they've got their job descriptions, and your business now lets you sit back and visualize how you can grow it even more and maybe expand it, maybe making it more global, et cetera, et cetera. So if you all have any questions, please make sure that you pop your questions into the chat, okay? All right, otherwise I'm just gonna keep on plowing on because you know I'm long-winded and I got a lot to say. I wanna make sure I get it all said, okay? My work is focused on that first foundational level of business, okay? This is where your focus has to be if you're going to be a new spiritual life coach, or any kind of life coach for that matter, okay? But if you want to be a life coach who actually has a strong, successful business framework, then this is what I'm really good at. And I've got a list of those things that you need to have an order before you start welcoming people into your practice. So the first thing that you're going to need is that relationship with the divine feminine, okay? And this is a starting point because the divine feminine is going to open your intuition and help you know what's right or wrong. Your intuition knows immediately when something is right for you or when something is wrong for you, okay? It's going to also be the source of your ideas. It's going to help you identify your desire. It's going to help you understand your role, your place in the universe, and how you can be of service. The divine feminine is going to help you generate a clear vision of what it is that you want for yourself and what you want to offer to your clients. It's going to bring you the inspiration to help you grow and expand that vision. Okay, because the more you do this work, the more expansive you have the opportunity to become. Okay. And it's going to, of course, help you recognize what is right for you by helping you become really in alignment with your own feeling nature. Now, our work today is to talk about the divine masculine. And the divine masculine is logical, and it's that part of you that takes action. The divine masculine must do, the divine feminine must be. Okay, so the divine masculine is going to help you make plans and strategies for executing all those great ideas that the divine feminine brings you. It's going to help you build the structures that will give the form to the gifts of the divine feminine. Okay, so the divine masculine supports the divine feminine. It's like she's the wild dancer and he gives her the safe platform on which to dance. Okay, with the divine masculine, we create the systems that deliver your offerings consistently and with excellence. So you know how it is. You get into the flow with the divine feminine and she's giving you the downloads and you're writing them out and you got all kinds of typos. All right. The divine feminine ain't going to help you fix the typos. That is the divine masculine that goes in and says, let me reread this. Let me make sure it makes sense. Proofreading is the realm of the divine masculine. That is, does this sentence structure make sense? Divine feminine is like, and divine masculine is like, that don't make no sense. What are you trying to say? Okay, so we want to make sure that we are using both the feminine and the masculine. The divine masculine is what you use when you take action on the feminine. It helps you pay attention to detail and it helps you follow through. Okay, so I want to give you just a couple of examples. So the divine feminine gave me the desire to complete the 2022 Paris Marathon. Okay, and I got this idea that I wanted to finish it in under 4 hours. All right. So the divine feminine gave me the desire. I said, yeah, I'll do that. The divine masculine wrote out the plan for, I think 6 months of training for every week, every stretch I have to do, every weight training thing I have to do, every run I have to do. All of them are written out, divine masculine, thank you. Airtable, thank you. Okay. Now, notice that I didn't say that the divine masculine is the one that gets me over the finish line. Okay. The divine masculine and the divine feminine will get me over the finish line. When I'm running, yes, sure, that's masculine. I'm moving forward. Left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot. But staying focused, okay, staying in the zone, staying connected to my body, feeling the energy, breathing. This is part of the feminine. So the physical moving forward and got to keep pushing, 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 making it happen. Masculine. Breathing, allowing, flowing. Breathing, allowing, flowing. feminine. You can't have one without the other. If you try to run without breathing, you're going to fall over. If you try to breathe without running, you're not going to get anywhere. Okay. So I want you to understand that you have both of these in you, and you have to use them both wisely to create your spiritual life coaching business. Okay. Now, here are those things that you need to have in place in order to have a really good foundation. All right. And by the way, I'm going to provide you a list. There are 22 things on this list. All right. But I have a little offering that I'm going to give you, a little booklet that has these things written down in it. So don't feel like you have to write down every single thing. There are 22 of them here. So sorry, there's a lot. But I'm going to tell you what they are, okay? In order for you to have a business, okay, you got to have the divine feminine ideas, but you're going to need the divine masculine to help you do these things. Number one, determine your ideal client and make a strategy to put you in front of your ideal client on a consistent basis, okay? Because you can't just show yourself once to your ideal client and then you're out of there, they're going to get it. Nope, you got to have a plan to put yourself out there consistently, okay? You also have to have what's called a niche or a specialty, okay? This is the thing that you help people transform. This is the pain you help people overcome. You need to identify that. You can't be like, oh, I'm going to help people do everything. I can help people with everything. No, you can't really do that because number one, you're not qualified to help everybody with everything. You're most qualified with the things that you know about and that you've been trained on and that you've researched and studied. And there's only so many hours in the day. You can only research and study so much. So you need to make a decision about what that thing is going to be. And then you're going to do that. You're going to do that thing. That's going to be your specialty or your niche. Okay, so you need your niche. Now, you also need to know how to help your ideal client get really clear. Like once you determine what the niche is that you're helping them correct, like once you determine what the pain point is that you're helping them correct, you have to get your client on board with that thing. So you have to educate your client about their own pain. They know their pain from an experiential thing, but you have to help them understand their pain from a deeper level. And, you know, for me, I love working with my clients in a cosmic way. I like to talk to them about their past lives, their karma, you know, the Akashic records, their soul's agenda, their astrology. I like to use all those things, and I have experience in all those things. You're going to determine your methods, okay, and help your people in your way, but you have to be able to educate people about their pain in a really deep way. So you need to know more than they do, okay? You also have to be able to coach your client and help them have measurable improvements in their life. So people have to come to you and have a really significant change. It cannot be like, oh yeah, that was good. That was nice, right? If any of my clients ever say like, I'm all right, after they finish working with me, I have to give them their money back. Like I didn't do my job if all they're doing is saying, I'm all right. Like, I'm like, that was okay. Like, no, you have to have a change that we can actually measure. So you have to know how to describe the original and then show them the after, and they have to feel the difference in like they have to see a difference in their life and their behavior. Okay, this is important. This is what makes us coaches. Now you have to be able to help your client deal with emotional pain and trauma, and you have to be able to talk about your own pain and trauma and how you overcame it. Okay, because there's nothing worse than having a great story, like my story of transformation, is powerful, but you don't know how to tell it. Okay. Like you can't tell it in a way where you don't look like a victim, or, it makes you look like you made stupid mistakes, because it can be painted. This is the problem with our own stories. It's like you have to really be able to, and especially if your pain involves your family of origin, or your ex-husband, okay, your ex-spouse, you have to know how to talk about those things in a way that leaves your family of origin with dignity, and your ex-spouse with dignity, because it doesn't feel great to go forward and to bash them. And then, like, you go to Thanksgiving and your family's looking at you like, you just bashed us in your latest blog. You got to know how to tell those stories, okay? And to save dignity for yourself and for your loved ones, okay? Um, you also need to know how to, once you kind of have processed all your own pain and trauma, you have to know how to create a program that takes a person through a series of exercises and meditations and healing sessions that are going to give them the results that they are needing, that they want. Okay. So you need to be able to do that. You need to be able to create a system. I realize that I'm talking very slowly. This, in and of itself, I could have made this into its own video, and I will do that another time. Let me speed up and get through this list because I realize I'm talking on. So let me just bullet point this right now. All right. You need to know how to create build a website, okay, that holds all of your great ideas. You need to be able to build a web presence so people can find you consistently when they want you, when they need you, when they're looking for you. They can find you even in Google. They can find you, they'll be turned on to your website with all of your offerings, okay? You need to be able to build a blog that educates people about your spiritual philosophy and what you do. You need to be able to create a meaningful content, and not content that's all over. I remember my blog in the beginning had recipes for milkshakes. Why? I don't know. I'm not a cook. I'm not a nutritionalist. Why were there blog posts about my recipes for, green smoothies? Because I didn't know what to post. That's why. I'm just telling you the truth. I figured that out. My blog is tight. My blog right now is tight. It's great. It's just where I want it to be. Anyway, you have to develop your own spiritual philosophy. You can't just go by what your teachers said. You need your own. You can't go by what you read in some book. You have to take what your teacher said and what you read in the book and what you learned in this video and what you experienced in your life. And you have to put all that together into your own philosophy, and then you have to share it, okay? Then once you start building yourself, you have to create your own brand, and you have to establish your brand authority, meaning that people think about me as Badass Butterfly. If you say Badass Butterfly, they're going to be like, Crystalline, I know her. Yeah, that's what you want. Okay. You have to be able to communicate who you are and what you offer concisely. All right. You need to be able to create a framework that helps your audience understand who you are and what you do. Because let me tell you something, you're a spiritual life coach. Your shit is complicated. The reason I say that is because we are dealing with abstract concepts that are based on life itself. We are talking about spirit, energy, God, quantum energy. We're talking about the unseen world, and we're talking about the physical world, relationships, career, health, okay? That's complicated. You need to be able to take all of your ideas, put it into a framework so that you can talk about these things in a logical, rational way, and so that people can understand what you're talking about, okay? You have to also know how to build an online community, okay? So bringing your people together and then giving them information to help them improve their lives, but also how to get along with each other, you know, like bringing them together so that all you are all um, vibing and moving in the same direction. You're the leader of your online community, and you're setting the example for behavior of how to heal, how to carry yourself. Your lifestyle is being shared, and people are looking to you um, as kind of a beacon of your philosophy, right? So for me, I have to be a badass butterfly. I can't play small. I can't be weak. I can't, look, I can be weak. I can make mistakes. But for me, a badass butterfly takes accountability for her mistakes. When she's wrong, she stands up and she says, I made a mistake. I apologize. Let me correct that, right? So that's what we do. You are that person who sets the idea, the philosophy for your community, for your world, and you are the walking, talking example of that, okay? You have to learn how to educate your audience, right? I talked about that earlier. You want to be able to also build your presence on your social media platforms, right? So whether you're using Facebook or Instagram, it doesn't matter. TikTok, it doesn't matter. You have to, though, own that and build your presence there. You have to create and build and maintain ongoing social media marketing campaigns. So if you're on TikTok, which I'm not, I don't even have a TikTok account yet, but I just love the idea of it. I will move into that in the future. But you have to set up your marketing on that. Like, what are you going to post today? And what about next week? And the week after that, and the week after that, and that month, and then the month after that, and then the month after that, all the way for a year. You got to know what you're going to do because it has to happen. You can't do it sometimes and then not do it in other times, okay? So you have to create that. For me, I use Facebook and Instagram and YouTube. Those are my three social media platforms. And I have all of my content written out for the next year. I've got it planned and organized for the next year, but I've got content available for the next year and a half. I just have to figure out what my theme is going to be for next year, and then I'll be laying out the following months. But all that's in due time. Okay, I'm ahead of the game, but that's where you want to be. You need to be ahead of the game because you're going to be offering services and helping people. So you can't be waiting to do that stuff. You have to keep the ball rolling while you're doing your services, okay? And I hope this doesn't sound overwhelming. If it does, don't worry because I've got solutions for you, all right? Keeping in mind what we talked about in the last video, all this stuff is learnable, all of it. None of it is beyond your capacity. You just need to learn it. And then, of course, we need the divine masculine to do it one step at a time, or sometimes 3 or 4 steps at a time, okay? You also need to be able to capture and you need to build an email list. So you need to be able to bring people into your email list so you build your following. You also need a blog. Okay, I think I said that already. All right. And you need a video channel, okay, like YouTube or Vimeo. That's really important because people love videos and you need to be able to shoot videos and set up a site for those, okay? And then, of course, you need to be able to deliver your entire offer, okay, what services you're offering, your signature offer, and you want to draw in the people who will resonate with that offer and benefit from the services, and of course pay you for your services, okay? And not pay you like a paltry amount, but pay you what you're worth. You're offering people transformation. You're spending time with them. You've developed your philosophy. You've developed this program people will be willing to invest in your program because you've put so much into it. And that I know for sure. We're seeing it all the time. So I want you just to pause for a moment and kind of think about what knowing all this feels like. Like, you've heard this long list. How does it feel for you to know that you have to do all these things? And that list I gave you was pretty comprehensive. And when you think about it, and I have it written out for you, by the way, I'll give that to you. I just have to take a moment and give you the link. But that list is super comprehensive. If you take that list and you do every single thing on it, you will have an entire business by the time you're done. By the time you get to number 22, you would look back and you'd be like, dang, I built an entire business. Okay. And that would, for me, that feels really good. For me, I have a Virgo moon, and I really do well when I have structure and when I know what needs to be done. Now, when I first graduated from my, as a spiritual life coach, right? I graduated from a program that taught me all about spirituality, but it taught me nothing about business. I didn't have any of the things, not one, not niche. I had learned about spirituality, but I had no niche. I had no ideal client. So I was trying to send my services to everybody. Okay. I had no program that was together. I had no transformation that I was offering people. I just knew I wanted to help people. I didn't have a blog. I didn't have a website. I was lucky because I had an email list, because I had a massage business. I had a wellness studio. So I had a few thousand people on my massage business list, and I could, tell them that I was, working as a spiritual life coach. Do you want to come and follow me? Right? I could say that, but I didn't know what to say to them to tell them more about what I was doing. I didn't know what I was doing. So for today's exercise, the things I want you to be kind of thinking about is where you are with regards to the basic essentials you need to have a solid business foundation. Now, keeping in mind, again, that all these things, the niche, your ideal client, the blogging, building the website, all of that stuff is totally learnable and doable, okay? And when we meet in our last session, which is on Thursday, when we meet in that last session, I'm going to give you a little plan that you can use to actually follow through all those things. And of course, I'm going to invite you today to join me in my spiritual certification, spiritual life coach certification for badass butterflies program, where I teach you every single one of those things that I've said. And I use those for myself, and I know they work. I know they do. And the very fact that you are here is evidence that they work. I'm just following my passion, and you are in my passion. You can relate to my passion, and you're here. And I'm going to teach you how to do this for yourself. And my certification program is really cool because it combines the divine feminine with the divine masculine. We are always working with our intuition. We're downloading ideas. We're reaching out to our ancestors to help us see what our pain points are, to help us know who our ideal client is. We're using our intuition, but we also have some concrete worksheets. I love worksheets, okay? So I have some worksheets with clear-cut instructions that are written out where you're going to use your intuition, use that divine feminine, and then you're going to put that into some structure and some form so that you can actually make sense of what the divine feminine is saying. This is really fun stuff. I'm excited about it because I just love this work, and the opportunity to bring you into this work is a real honor, honestly. Okay. Now, let's see what I want to do now, because we're ready to start wrapping this up. Okay. I want to talk to you about the next steps. The next steps are about making decisions, and you need to make decisions on two levels. You need the divine feminine decision and the divine masculine decision. So in order to elevate your lifestyle in 2022 and to become that spiritual life coach, you need to make two decisions. The first decision with the divine feminine is just about saying yes to the desire, the divine feminine desire to be a spiritual life coach and healer. You think about it, how does it make you feel to imagine yourself being this life coach, right? Now, I have a worksheet for you, and there's a little process that I put in there for you to get really into this exercise, okay? And to create those feelings to see if this is something that you really want to do. And if it is, you're going to have to say yes to the divine feminine. So the process is about meditating and connecting to your soul. I'll give you those instructions, okay? I'll give you the worksheet, and you can do that on your own, all right? But I want you to, while you're doing that, I want you to say yes to the divine feminine, okay? And then the next step is going to be for you to say yes to the divine masculine. Now, the divine masculine is going to take more work because it's not based on just feeling and energy. It's based on commitment to following steps, commitment to doing the work. Now, here's something that I know. If you commit to doing the work of the divine masculine, okay, doing all those steps, those 22 things, you will have success, and you will not feel like an imposter. One of the things I hear from people is that they suffer with imposter syndrome. And I want to validate that feeling for you. And I really want to validate imposter syndrome because a lot of people are doing life coaching and they're being imposters. They've not done the work. What they've done is gotten a nice certification over a weekend, okay? And then they set up and they say, I'm a life coach. They studied for 3 days and they want to now call themselves a life coach. No wonder you feel like an imposter. That is not enough work to be a life coach. Okay, if you haven't dealt with the trauma, if you haven't created a program, if you haven't researched and dived deep, okay, maybe the imposter syndrome is there to help you recognize that you still got some work to do, okay? Through my system, okay, there is no room for imposter syndrome. There's no time because we are doing all the things. My approach naturally is a deep dive into the spirituality, the emotions, and the business. And we put it all together into a solid foundation. So what I want you to be thinking about is the business part, okay? You've already done your work with the key negative emotion. You've done your work with the divine feminine, and I've given you a bonus exercise that's going to help you say yes to the divine feminine, okay? To the energy of becoming a spiritual life coach. Now what I need you to do is look through this booklet that I'm going to give you, and I want you to look through that list of 22 things, okay, that I read off to you. And I want you to be able to say, I'm willing to do this, I'm willing to do this to all 22 of them. Because if you're not willing to do all 22 of those things, then you're going to have a business that's missing something that's really key and valuable. And you know, you can of course set up your business like that. You're fine to do that, but you'd be not setting it up with all the things you need. Okay, so I want you to sit down with the list of things, the 22 things, and I want you to say yes to them all. All right. If there's a place where you feel like, I don't even know what that is, I don't think I want to do that, then I want you to talk to me about it. You can send me an email or you can leave a comment on this video, okay? And you can also come to the next live session, of course, and talk to me about it. I'm more than happy to. You can book a discovery session call with me and talk to me about it. I'm more than happy to. But that's what I need you to do, all right? Is to look at that list and to make a relationship with the list of things you need to do in the divine masculine. If you can say yes to that, then I think you're ready to dive into actually becoming a spiritual life coach. And I want to offer you an opportunity to become a badass butterfly spiritual life coach if you're willing to do the yes to the divine feminine and the yes to the divine masculine. Okay, so I'll talk to you about the offer in the next program, the next session, which is on Thursday at the same time as today. And that's really all I have to say for today. So I'm going to go ahead and I will get you the link. Actually, Nicole, if you are still here, I'm going to get you the link directly. You get the link first, okay? Where is the link? Where do I get the link? Hold up. I got the download, but I need the link. This is the link right here. Oh, I have the download. Wait, what do I have to do? Crystal messed up. She doesn't know how to give you the link. Oh, yes, she does. Yes, she does. She knows how to go to Google. She knows how to open up her drive. She knows how to refresh to make sure she's got the most up-to-date link. She knows how to open that up. I'm telling you, all this stuff is learnable. Okay, and she knows how to share. This is what I'm going to do. So copy link. Here we go. Here we are. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, Nicole, that is the link for the booklet with the 22 items. The 22 divine masculine items are on page 2 of the booklet there. All right. That is the list that I went through. Now, that might be confusing. That's okay. Nicole, you have that. I'm going to figure out how to share the link with everyone else in a more effective way. I just need 5 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye for now. Okay, I'll see you all on Thursday. Thank you so much for joining me here today. I'm really excited. I'm just excited with life. What can I say? I'm just blessed every day, blessed. All right, thanks so much. Bye for now. Bye, everybody.